everyone, Crafting Vicky here with you, and I want to share something that I thought of making. I've been following Kylie Koo, and she's making a junk use it or lose it. And since I started gathering junk, I've asked my people at work, the receptionists in particular, if I could have the envelopes from my workplace, and she gave them to me. But I'm getting a stack like that big every week, and so I really need to start using it, because otherwise I'm going to be overwhelmed with envelopes very soon. And one thing that I do every week is I plan my meals on the Saturday morning, and I make a list of the different meals that we're going to be eating all the week, and then we make the grocery list in accordance to that. And then I try to do a lot of new recipes and make a comment if we liked it or not. And so I thought it'd be kind of cool to keep track of that, especially with the new my year of self-expression. I thought, you know, it'd be something cool to put in there, what we ate that week. And also because, I don't know for you, but in our case, we end up, right now I'm still doing new recipes. But most often than not, if I'm not making new recipes, we end up eating the same thing over and over and over again, from one week to the next, to the next, to the next. And this way, I figured we could track what we ate, and this way maybe not be so repetitive in what we're eating. And I've been watching a lot of YouTube, and one of the person that I subscribed to and that I was watching was doing a bullet journal, and in her bullet journal she was doing exactly that, keeping track of what she's eating. She was also doing a grocery list. I don't want to keep a grocery list in there, but I thought the idea of a bullet journal would be very cool for this sort of thing. Now I was thinking, okay, what could I use to keep this track of? And I don't know for you, but in my case, very often when I get mail at home and I suddenly need a piece of paper to write something on, I'll write on the back of envelopes. So it got me thinking that that could be a great idea. And I've got tons of envelopes, so what better to do a journal with envelopes that I could use for this? So this is what we're going to be making today. Another thing that I had in my stash is little sheets like this, which have lines, which are perfect to put down the meals of the week, and they have the month. Okay, now I'm not sure how it's gonna fall in there, that I'm gonna be, you know, using it for the proper month or not, but I don't really care, because I can always cover it up with some washi or whatever. But it's mostly because if you look at here, you've got an envelope, but you've got this window here that I can't use. I can't write anything on. Now I just realized that there's a back to this, and that is something I didn't think about. So I'm gonna have to go and get more of those little sheets of paper. So that's what I was thinking, that I could glue those on there and having the benefit of this. Now what I want to do, I'm gonna go and grab some more of those, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back with extra papers for this. Now, in order to do this, one thing that we're going to have to do is to open up all of these envelopes. I chose the ones that were blank on the inside because it's going to be easier. I don't have to do anything about the insides, because otherwise if it was black it'd be hard to write on. Plus, the white ones, they're kind of boring. So not much to do with them except doing something like this, right? So this is going to be, I'm thinking, easier this way. So, and I don't really care if it goes a bit over, but it would be better if it was just a tiny bit shorter. So let's jot down. I brought my thing to cut because just because I want to keep the stamps, and I figured I would cut the stamp part out this way. I could reuse it. So this is going to be to my advantage, and I don't mind that some pages are going to be shorter than others. It's just going to add to the interest, and basically I don't need that much space to write on. I just need some sort of space to write on, but it doesn't have to be huge. Let's cut this. This is recycling. So this here is going to go here. No windows, so that one is easy. This one doesn't have a window either. Some do, some don't. Might as well make the longer ones the same size. And I figured I could use the beige envelopes as well, because those, it's easy to write on. So this would be cool. And I thought I was going to share this with you so that you would actually see how I make it. I'm also realizing I wanted to show you how I add some beads to it. I'm going to have to get some beads. The good thing is they're behind me in a big container, so that will not be that hard. But difficult. Beep. Previous project, and it's not dry yet. Let's move this over. And this as well, because I know I'm going to make a mess. Okay. Since I don't need paint, and I don't need anything, I'm measuring on this end just because here, if I cut it here, I'm going to end up with the window being kind of loose, which I don't want to happen. So it's going to be easier if I do it this way. I just realized I forget to open the other side. And it's quite stupid on my part to be opening both sides up when actually I'm cutting down one. Oops. You're probably going, why is she doing that? How stupid is that? And you're kind of right. This one is open. These are all open. This one I'm going to keep the stamp. And on this side. So I thought I was going to make two signatures on this. I don't want it too thick, but I'm thinking that two signatures is probably going to be good for me, because every envelope is basically 4 weeks. And I've put 10 in there, so that's 40 weeks. So it's not a full year, but it's still quite a lot. And I can do another one next year. Plus I'm starting now, so therefore obviously it's not even, like, it doesn't really work with a year. Okay, so now my papers are cut. These I'm not going to be doing right away, so I could put those aside. What I need to do is arrange my signatures. Okay, so this is going to be 1. 3, 4, and 5. So that's one signature. And for the next one, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Houston, we've got a problem. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How did I do that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm an accountant. How this? Don't ask. Okay, so this is my 2 signatures. Now, I've got my thread. I've got my big needle. Now, one thing that I want to do, as I told you, is add some beads to this. And this is not something you can do afterwards, so I need to do it as I'm doing this. And I've got some cool beads in here. And I don't think I'm going to pull them out right away. I think I'm going to add them as I feel like it. Okay, so one of the things that I do, and I'm sure other people do it a different way, but I usually measure at least 2. I'm going to measure 3 times. It's going to be way too long, but I prefer to have it way too long than way too short. So that's how I do it. Plus, I'm thinking that I might leave the threads in the middle and just add, as I did in a previous journal, little dangles in the middle. Okay, so now I'm going to thread my needle. Okay, usually what I would do is pierce this in a proper fashion. If it was an altered book journal, I would do it in a much better and professional way. But this is just junk for me, so I don't really care that it's not perfectly centered or aligned. It doesn't really matter. So I'm gonna just do one hole here and thread it like this. So I leave this here. Now, to put the beads, I need to put them now. So I'm gonna add this one just because it's big and it looks good. And I'm gonna remove my needle because it's gonna be easier to thread the beads through. Sometimes the beads are too small for this. Some are bigger, but some are smaller. Let's put an orange. Just doing this to make it interesting and fun and my own, basically. Right? I can do what I want. It's for me, which is something that I don't do a lot of. Journals just for me. Okay, so that's long enough. So I'm threading my needle again. And then very carefully, not to pull out too much, I'm going to hold this. Need to hold this. And I need to make a hole. So I'm going to make a hole right there. And thread through. So this is what my beads look like. I could have gone a bit higher, but I still think it's fine. Okay, so now I'm coming back out in the middle. I might even in the frame. So I tried to come out of the same hole here as I did the last time around. And I need to pull this off. Because I don't want my book to be loose, right? So this like this. And then I do the same thing on the other side. I choose some beads that I want to work with. Add them on there. Actually, use one of those. Sometimes it's not quite straight, so it's not as easy as it looks to put them together. These are beads that I found in a thrift store. A whole big box of them, so I was pretty happy. Okay, so let's do one more. Yeah, thinking that that's enough. Put this through again, and then actually this. And thread it through. Just need to catch all of those papers as well. Yeah. Pull it all tight. This one is a bit too much. I'm going to remove one of the beads. Maybe add a smaller one. And this one is too similar. Maybe a small green one instead. so here are my beads. Now for the center, all I now have to do is make sure it's very tight. And what I usually try to do is catch it this way and just tie it with a knot. So I don't have all that much left extra, so it wasn't that bad. We're just gonna make them fairly similar. Okay, so one signature done. Now we need to do the same thing for the other one. So let's put this together and put it beside. And I'm going to try not to do them at the same height. Thinking it's going to make it more interesting with the beads and stuff. Oops. When I do my altered books, though, I usually try to make it the same. This is mine, and I do not care. Okay, so let's go with this. You need to make sure not to pull too tight because you don't want to lose your the one you put in the middle. Because that would not be cool. And I've used big chunky beads for this. Because let's be honest, making a meal plan for a week, it does get tiring and it's not that exciting, especially when you have to think about your 4 kids as well as your husband and take into consideration what they like, what they don't like, as well as you don't want to be eating the same type of meat all the time and the same vegetables. So, okay, so that's that. I'm gonna go through back in the center. I'm gonna tighten this up, and then we do the same thing on the other side. I just make my hole though, because I haven't made it yet. So let's see, we do it this way, this here. Okay, so maybe just a tiny one. This one I love it, but I always have trouble finding where the hole is. Okay, so pull this off, and you see my beads. Pull this tight, and voila. So my 2 signatures are in. Just put this here because I tend to lose my needle. So this is the front, and then we open it up this way. So now I just need to put in the piece of paper that are covering the, actually it's supposed to go this way. Okay, it's supposed to go that way. Got it the wrong way. I wanted this to be the back, because this has a pocket in it now, because it's an envelope and it's been opened that way. Okay, so I know I had a month of November somewhere out there. Here's the month of November. Okay, November. So now I just need to glue this down. And I can't glue. I glue this straight. Like, yeah, doesn't matter. It's not straight, but this one's gonna go here. This was the top page of a to-do list that I purchased so that I could put it in my journals, but it was stained. So I want to put something that's stained in the journals that I sell, so I put it there. Put this here. And I had another December. Pretty sure by that time will be January, but anyway. Like I said, I can put washi tape on top. I just needed something. Those little pads I purchased at the dollar store last year, and because they were part of a huge box, and I thought it was kind of neat, except that I don't really use them because of the fact that there's a word here and I can't cut it, because if I cut it then I'm missing part of the border. So what I should do, because of that, is I didn't even hide the whole window. Oh well. What I should do is to hide it, and then I could use it. But I haven't done that, so I haven't been using those pads. So I'm happy because of the Kali's Coos challenge. I'm challenging myself to use more of what I have. because I do have a lot. It's not that I'm missing anything. It's just that it's kind of hard not to purchase new stuff when there's so much fabulous new stuff around. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm talking about, or I'm the only shopaholic, but when it comes down to craft stuff, or I go to thrift stores and I see wonderful things that I could recycle, and it doesn't matter that I have like a ton of stuff that I can already recycle and repurpose. I just need to have that other one because, you know, I could do something with it and it's not expensive, but in the end it takes room and it does end up being expensive because you're just purchasing new stuff instead of using what you got. So please tell me I'm not the only one that has that issue. I don't want to be alone with my problem. I feel better when it's shared and I can see that other people are just as bad as me. It doesn't make us any better, but makes me feel less weird about being me, I guess. Okay, so March. What I didn't think when I pulled out my papers was the fact that some didn't have windows, so I won't need as much as I thought I was going to need of those papers. It might have been good with just what I had pulled out initially. Oh well. Doesn't matter. What I'm thinking is going to be fun with this is once I put it in my self-expression, a year of self-expression book, in the following years, you can see the recipes we've done, the one we liked, what we didn't like, as well as I'm thinking my kids eventually, you know, they can refer back to that too. So that's kind of cool. It's making family memories. Oh, strange. I didn't take the month of June. Oh well. And I didn't think the month of September either. This is strange. Guess my months are not in order in that thing. Well, I didn't have that many pieces left that were as many as I thought. And of course I didn't use them all because I didn't think of those things. But what I can do is, this one I'll leave here. But these I can stick them in there and I will have extra piece of something to write with if I need. So this is my book. what I'm going to do now is decorate it eventually, but for now at least it's functional. So here it is, and you've got all the tabs, and you know, this is perfect space to write, so I don't need to do anything to that. And see how you're repurposing what would usually just go in the trash. Isn't that cool? So I'm hoping that I'm inspiring you to recycle, and if you work outside of your house, maybe you can get your workplace to keep envelopes for you, and you can do something like that and accumulate a ton of envelopes like I do, and then run out of a house because you've got too many envelopes. Oh, only kidding! Hopefully. And I'll probably do a closure, but for now, that's it. So hope this is inspiring to you. If it is, please do give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave comments. I love reading them. And subscribe if you haven't already. Bye, folks.